Okay. Dude, what? Dude, what did they do to this weapon? Yo guys, what is up? Max in our first Descendant video, and today we're going over my updated guide to the Typhoon. Now, I actually made this build quite a few days ago and then held off on uploading it because the Typhoon was going to get buffed. We now have those buffs, and the buffs to this weapon bring it from being a great choice to an insane choice. I don't know how, once again, it kind of ended up being that like Serena got buffed and other characters got nerfed, but this weapon is particularly great on Serena. Absolutely fries. We're gonna be going over everything you need to know. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let's do this. So what is the Typhoon and how is it buffed? So the Typhoon is the new battle pass weapon for this season. Relatively easy to acquire as you knock out your challenges, and it is a like beam weapon that has the unique ability to do Typhoon. Basically, you shoot this laser and it can target up to 8 enemies. With the seasonal buff, it targets up to 10, which is pretty great. And then as you shoot those enemies, you build up storm energy or Typhoon energy, and you can swap modes to, instead of firing at 8 enemies, to then only fire at 1 and get a 300% damage multiplier. So you can do mobbing and single target with it. It still isn't like a boss killing weapon, but it's not a weapon that you need to swap away from if you come across like an elite or a boss in a dungeon. And in the buffs to this thing, they buffed this multiplier on its storm mode from like 195% to 300%. They also gave it significantly more base attack, significantly more electric attack, and they increased the range that this weapon fires at, which is particularly great for Serena because she wants to be firing this thing in the air. So why is this weapon so good on Serena? Mainly because of her second ability. And Serena being Serena, she's good with just about every weapon. However, Serena gets different buffs while she's in the air with different weapon ammo types. Most of these weapon types we've been able to build around. General rounds like the Ancient Knight gets multi-hit chance, multi-hit damage. Things like the Restored Relic can do fire scale damage. However, special rounds weapons, which we haven't really been able to do much with on Serena, besides, for example, like Greg's Reversed Fate, do surrounding AoE damage. And this can hit up to 20 targets in a pretty decent range. And so while we're firing this thing, not only is it going to be attacking 10 different enemies at a time, but it also is going to be pulsing AoE firearm damage at all of those targets, which makes this thing an absolute mobbing machine. And also with Serena's fourth ability, you also get a damage multiplier for all of that damage that's happening, also pulsing based off of your HP. So you're just kind of getting the best of everything. So we're going to be updating kind of our Serena build as well as the build for the Typhoon. Now, the base stats of the Typhoon are coming in pretty strong. It's got a base of 35% crit rate, 1.72x crit damage, with a very, very low multi-hit damage of 0.1 and a very low weak point damage multiplier of 1x. It's got really solid elemental damage, nothing too insane, but very solid elemental damage, which basically means we're going to be building this thing for firearm damage, elemental damage, firearm crit rate, and crit damage. So here is the build for the Typhoon. Pretty standard build, to be honest with you. Nothing too crazy here. We're rocking 2 firearm attack mods. We're going to be rocking both crit rate and crit damage blue mods, as well as edging shot for extra crit rate and concentration priority for extra crit damage. Electric enhancement for the extra crit, or for the electric lightning damage. Fire rate, obviously. Electric priority to lean more into electric attack. Things that sacrifice reload time, like electric priority and concentration priority, don't really matter on Serena because she can dash to reload, so those don't affect our damage at all. And then I just went for Sweeping Squad for some additional firearm attack. This thing is mainly for mobbing, and so this complements it quite nicely. For updated Serena guide, this is the main build that I'm rocking on her. It says Void Erosion, but I'm using this for most things besides like Wall Crasher. But the big thing that we had to utilize on Serena prior was we wanted, one, tons of cost reductions so we could use all of her abilities and be able to sustain her like flight, while also having 100% uptime on the fourth ability. And to maintain 100% uptime on the fourth ability, in the old build guide, we were using multi-talented. You would basically dash, and you could proc your extra cooldown, and then pop your 4, and it would constantly be up. However, with Ancestor mods, you can basically get enough cooldown to replace multi-talented. You're going to be looking for at least 0.086, I think it is, cooldown to get rid of multi-talented, which allows us to use an Ancestor mod instead, and then we can add a mod to the build that I didn't have before, which is Maximize Conservation. Now, technically, you could use Final Wish here. I opted for Maximize Conservation. Both are great, but this allows us to get the same amount of cooldown on the build, so we have 100% uptime on this. You can see my cooldown is currently 23 seconds, and the duration is 24 seconds, so we're looping the 4 with 0 jank, no awkwardness there, while also getting extra resource cost, and my Ancestor mod just so happens to also have some extra HP on it, which is really nice, which allows us to get to HP cap for her fourth ability, which is around 39,000 HP, and so that is kind of the updated build. If you don't have an Ancestor mod on her, the build doesn't need to change, but if you do get a good one, the really main thing you're looking for is cooldown, which allows you to get rid of multi-talented and also add Maximize Conservation. For the weapons, on Serena, you can use anything. Obviously, for this build guide, we're mainly using the Eye of Typhoon, which, by the way, we're rocking fire rate cores on its open slot because it doesn't have any fire rate options, with firearm attack, double rolled electric attack. We're also going to be rocking firearm crit rate damage as its last core, and then for its like base stats, we're looking for firearm attack, crit rate, electric attack, and firearm crit damage. On our reactor, for your reactor on Serena, you can genuinely use kind of anything. Just have some skill duration and skill cooldown. And then we're currently rocking 2-piece Ascending set for the extra skill cost, and then 2-piece Shell Crusher for the extra fire rate, as well as Shell Crusher, instead of going like 4 Ascending, gives us a little bit of extra HP, so that we can reach that HP cap of like 39,000. You can use 2 pieces or 4 Ascending if you're having issues with ammo, but personally, I just rock 2 Ascending, 2 Shell Crusher. For the arcade tuning, this is what I was rocking for most of the time. We're slotting in defense neutralization in the top left. For the Typhoon, we don't care about like multi-hit stuff, so we can kind of ignore this and go for the firearm crit and the crit damage, as well as grabbing all of the HP nodes, some extra skill cost, and a little bit of range. For your inversions, it's really important to go pick up the Typhoon Accelerator. This gives you even more damage with the gun, as well as spatial dominance for extra range and enhanced regeneration for extra HP orbs. If you don't want extra range, or if you're struggling with your mana, you can go for focused boost instead. Just kind of what I'm rocking. Guys, that's going to do it for the build guide. I hope you enjoyed. This gun is absolutely crazy. I will catch y'all in the next one. Take care. Peace.